What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm kind of just gonna sit here, chit chat with you guys for a little bit and go over my first year as a full-time real estate agent and just kind of give you a little bit of the highs, the lows, and what I expected, what I didn't expect, and all of that. So if you're a new agent in today's market, definitely keep on watching. So first off, I know it's probably I think it's like 3 o'clock right now. I am on my second cup of coffee. I don't think there's ever a time where there's you consume too much coffee. There could be, but look how cute this mug is. It says realtor, hardworking, passion, determination, caring, regret, 0%, and caffeine, 110 because we need our caffeine. But anyways, let's get into it. So we're gonna take it back to 2019. I know we're in 2021, which is so weird to say. We're gonna take it back to 2019 when I officially got licensed. Now, a little bit of a backstory is I did work for a closing attorney's office for 7 years prior to getting licensed. And so I did have a little bit of the background of real estate before I actually became a licensed real estate agent. Basically, what I did though was everything after the file got under contract. So I did have that understanding of things, but I had no understanding of what it was like to be a full-time realtor. Now, to give you a little bit of an insight, which what I thought it was I thought clients would just fall into your lap. I thought everybody would like to work with you. Everybody wanted to work with you. You know, your friends and your family, and everyone's gonna use you when they start buying houses, and it's just gonna be great, old and dandy. You're gonna make all this money, and that's just the way it's gonna be. No. That is not how real estate works. Let me tell you. In 2019, when I got licensed in April, I worked for a small brokerage company, and it was just the broker and me. It was a new up-and-coming brokerage, and I decided to work with this company as well as keeping my full 9-to-5 job as the real estate paralegal. And I quickly understood how difficult that would be, because I didn't know what I was doing as far as trying to get clients. I would do all of the marketing. I would put up so many social media posts on Facebook, Instagram, just saying, hey, I'm a realtor, use me. And I just thought that people would click it, reach out to me like, hey, I'm looking to buy, I'm looking to sell, will you help me out? Which I had no traction from any of my social media posts whatsoever. I was literally making these posts, throwing them out into the social media world and hoping that somebody would grab it and contact me, which never happened. And it started to get really old for me to keep doing that over and over and getting no reward from it. And I started getting discouraged about it and just realized that maybe this isn't for me. It's because I'm young. It's because they don't think I know what I'm doing. Or I was just there's so many reasons why somebody isn't using, why I'm not getting clients. And so I decided to just do my posts here and there, hope for the best, and still work my 9-to-5 job because I was still making great money, or consistent money, and I just thought, why not? You know, maybe it'll blow up, maybe it won't. I'm just gonna go with the flow. Well, I realized you can't really go with the flow when you want to be successful in a job. But I just kind of went with it for my first year, and I did one transaction my first year. One dandy transaction.
What?
And the funny thing is that, or the great thing is that it was my own. The only transaction I did in 2019 after being licensed was my own transaction. I represented me and my husband, and that was it. And I thought that that would help me understand how a transaction went. I thought, okay, once I know one transaction, I'm gonna know them all. Well, not one transaction is the same. Every transaction, every single transaction I have ever done is completely different. Different situations come up, different scenarios come up, different personalities you're dealing with, just different people all around. You know, being a listing agent is completely different than being a buyer's agent. And there's just so much that goes into being a real estate agent and representing buyers and sellers that I thought I would learn from one transaction, which is 100% not the case at all. So my main goal was to become a full-time realtor. That was my main number one goal. I've had that goal set in my mind for many, many years. And I finally decided end of 2019 that it was time for me to actually commit to what I decided that I wanted to do. Gave what I could give within the first few months of being licensed, wasn't getting much out of it. I would watch YouTube videos to try to understand how transactions went, or listen to podcasts from realtors and just big social media influencers and all that to try to understand the business side of things, being a real estate agent. And the number one person that I listened to, that I still listen to this day, and I've been to a conference for him and everything, is Tom Ferry. Now, if you don't listen to Tom Ferry and you're a real estate agent, what are you doing? What are you doing? I think I've watched every single one of his videos, and honestly, he's probably one of the main influencers that made me want to become a full-time realtor. And it's just his positive mindset, everything. So if you are someone who likes to watch YouTube videos, which I'm sure you are because you're watching this one now, but podcasts and everything like that, I do highly recommend you listening to Tom Ferry. And I remember there was one thing that he said that still stuck with me to this day. And it's not anything motivational or anything like that. There are some things that he says that are motivational that stuck with me. But this one thing that I remember was, he said that if you don't have a CRM, what are you doing? You should not be a realtor. And I had no idea what a CRM was. And I was like, what's a CRM? So I did my little Google search, figured out what a CRM was. And I was like, oh, I don't have that. How do I get that? I had no idea. I'm like, what site do I use? Is there a site for me to use? I'm like, okay, maybe I can just write the names down of the clients that I didn't have on a piece of paper, and that would be good enough. But now when I realized and understand the tools and technology behind a CRM, it's mind-blowing that I even thought that writing your clients down on a piece of paper would even compare to having a CRM. Doesn't. So I knew that it was just time for me to explore my other options and see what else was out there for me, and to get the help and the guidance and the support and the experience that I needed in order to become successful in this business, because I had a goal to reach, which is being a full-time realtor. So in November of 2019, I interviewed with this team leader. So after sitting down with him and talking to him about everything, and I realized that it would definitely be a good fit for me to move on to a team. Now, if you're a new agent, I highly recommend you working with a team. Now, unlike brokers, team leaders, I feel like have the same experience as a broker, but they're not as preoccupied with multiple agents as a broker. So it's easy for you if you have questions, concerns, simple questions, to get in touch with the team leader rather than trying to get in touch with your broker. I was given so many tools, and as far as the CRM, the website, daily meetings, one-on-one coaching calls, which goes over our actual business as far as financial wise, what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, and just basically accountability. All of this that I was getting that would help me be successful. So I figured it is time for me to move on to the next company and see how that does for me. I started in November of 2019, and within like those first couple of months, like November and December, it was a lot of me just trying to understand my CRM, how to use it, the functionality of it and everything like that, and just getting everything up and coming. And then I started diving into the leads. There's a lot of things that I didn't know, and I just thought that that one transaction that I went through, which was my own, would help me understand the whole world of transactions. But no, was I totally wrong. And it was a reality check when I started getting into my first transaction. Now, my first transaction was a realtor.com lead. I remember answering this phone call, and at the beginning, and I'm still this way too, is that when I get phone calls or if I get business coming my way, no matter what I'm doing, I drop it all and I do it. If I'm at the gym, I'll run out and take the call. If I am eating dinner, I'll take the call. At this particular time, I was at a friend's birthday party at a hibachi restaurant, and the phone call came in, and I ran into the corner and I answered that call. And it took me up until March to get him under contract. And from March, it took 2 months for that file to close because of the pandemic. And that happened with a couple of the transactions that I had going for me in 2020, in the beginning of 2020. And my goal was, once I hit 3 transactions and I had more transactions in the pipeline, I'll be able to leave my full-time 9-to-5 job, because it started getting to the point where my true passion was being a real estate agent, but the money was coming from my 9-to-5 job. So if I can get the money from being a real estate agent, I can quit that 9-to-5 job because I'll no longer need it, nor would I have to depend on it. Obviously, switching from paycheck to commission is a very scary thing, and I was terrified to do it. And once I was able to get those first 3 closed, which took me from November when I first started to the team up until May. It took me about 6 months to get my first transaction under contract and closed. And it took me 6 months to get my first paycheck, my first commission check. And that's normal in this industry. I thought, clients will come to you, you'll get them on a contract, the first house that you see, and a month later you close, and then the next day you get your money. That's not how that works. Finally, once all of those closed, I had more in the pipeline, and I had more buyers and more sellers that I was working on. I was nurturing the lead. And so I knew that more was gonna come from it. And I realized that those 3 transactions, the money coming from those 3 transactions would cover what a 6-month salary of my full-time job would be. That basically covers a 6-month period. I was able to quit my full-time job. More coffee. It was very hard for me to juggle the 2, and that's why a lot of people do like to have 2 jobs. A lot of people like to have their consecutive income job and then the commission-based job, which is totally fine. But for me, that's not what I liked. I didn't like the 9-to-5. I didn't like the office job anymore. And I figured the more time I could focus on real estate, the more money I can make from that, and I can actually make it my career. And so I ripped the Band-Aid off, no matter how many times my parents, friends, and just everyone told me that it's a bad idea for you to quit your full-time job. You're making great money, it's consecutive money. What happens if you don't make money from real estate? And at first that kind of bothered me because I'm like, okay, no one supports me, but the number one thing that mattered to me was that I believed in myself and my husband supported me. So the 2 people that mattered the most when it comes to my finances and my life and everything, they were all up for it, me and my husband. So I was like, I'm doing it. And the thing is I was like, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong. I'm gonna prove them wrong, and I'm gonna prove them wrong hard. So I quit my job. And then that's when the ball started rolling. I had more time to focus on real estate. I had more time to focus on my business, gained many more clients because I was able to focus more time on real estate. Everything went uphill from there. Ever since then, I was able to end out 2020 with 15 transactions closed and about 5 million in volume, which I'm going to pat myself on the back real quick for that one, because I went from literally 1 transaction in 2019 to 15 in 2020. I was able to financially make more than what I would have at my full-time job, and just put that money aside as long as you know how to really budget your money. It's awesome when you get these commission checks in, but not all of that money is really yours. Remember, you don't get taxed, so you have to put money away for taxes. And just think about all the stuff that comes along with making that money. Your marketing, your ads, your driving, your gas. So you are putting a lot of money out, but you're getting money back. But you need to remember that you need to put some of that money aside. And I've always had that mindset, but I know that it can be definitely hard for people who don't, because you could be getting a really big check for a commission check and think you have all this money, spend it in the first week or first month, and then you go 6 months without a paycheck again. You need to really learn how to budget your money in this industry, because you can go months without making a commission bill, but you can go 1 month with making a lot of money. But obviously with the highs of all of that, of making the money, making great friends and clients, and being able to help people get into their dream homes or helping them sell their home, there came a lot of issues. Because I'm young, I don't know anything, and not that I don't think I know anything, but other people are gonna think that I don't know anything, and I'm gonna have listing agents or buyer's agents trying to take advantage of that I'm new and I'm young and she doesn't know what she's doing. I've been doing this for 15 years and you've only been doing this for a year. And it's like, you have to get that out of your mind, because one, that's going to take you down. You come in with a positive attitude, you come in like you're confident, they're gonna know that you know what you're doing, because you do know what you're doing. As long as you have the support, the resources, and the guidance, like I do, being under your team, you'll do completely fine in this business as long as you execute the tasks that need to get done in order to reach your goals. And that's like the number one thing that I've learned, is you have to execute the tasks. Now we're so lucky that we have like tracking systems. So basically I can track how many calls per day that I made, how many conversations that I had, and so forth like that, because you can sometimes get into your head that you did nothing all day because you may have not made an appointment or had many conversations. Because there's going to be days where you make 30, 40 phone calls and you may talk to 0 people, 2 people, 3 people. You may not talk to anybody and you may not make any appointments. You may have people hang up on you, ignore your call, tell you not to call you ever again. Like it can get frustrating, but you just need to realize that it's just how it is. It is for everybody. It happens to everybody and it's not just you. I could never shut off. I never had that off switch button where I wasn't thinking about work. Like I would go into bed and I would sit there and I would literally think about my transactions. It was extremely difficult for me to put that off switch button when I'm like, okay, you know what? 7 o'clock, I'm going to eat, cook dinner, eat, and watch a movie with my husband and go to bed. I couldn't. I'd be sitting on my phone answering emails, and I felt like I needed to work constantly because I'm commissioned. If I'm not working, I'm not making money. But that is not the case. As long as you do what you have to do, you execute those tasks during the day, track down what you're doing. If you're making your calls and everything, then you're doing the tasks that need to get done in order to make those appointments. So in the beginning, it may seem hard because you may not have a lot going on, because you may not have the transactions yet, you may not have the clientele yet, but you have to get there. And I've gotten into a better point about that, but it's still sometimes in my head where if I'm not working, I need to be working because I'm losing business, which is not the case. You have to really get into that mindset that you don't need to constantly be working, and otherwise you're gonna burn yourself right out and you are not gonna be successful in this business. Bottom line is what I wanna come about is that if your first year was like my year, doesn't mean your second year can't be successful. A lot of people are learning their first year. That is basically what I did. I learned, and if you don't make any transactions or any money the first year, that is okay. As long as you have a second job, but that is okay. If your goal is to be a full-time realtor, take the steps it takes and do the tasks it takes to get to that point, and you will be successful. It's all trial and error. Everything will come within time. So don't just think that you're gonna get right up on there and everyone's gonna want to use it as a real estate agent and boom, you just made $200,000 your first year. No, not gonna happen. You're probably gonna be like me and make no money your first year, and then your second year it may take you 6 months to actually get one paycheck. It is okay, it all works out. As long as you put your mind to it, you put the effort in, it will take time, but you will get there. And that is basically my first 2 years as being a real estate agent. That is it, my friends. That is the end of this video. And as always, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my videos. I am going to get more consecutive or more consistent with these videos this new year. It is my goal, and I will do it. So more videos will be coming at you. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you.